six-figure income. Why should people strive for a six-figure income?
Why not? Everyone wants it, right?
Not everybody has money.
Yes. No, it's a symbol of financial stability,
Okay.
right? It's also a psychology benchmark. Whenever people, strive to have a six-figure income and they achieve it, they have a belief, and it's a fair belief in most of the world, that you can live in a very decent manner, right? So it's has two components. One is it's a symbol of wealth for entrepreneurs. It's a milestone for their business, and the other one is the psychology effect that six-figure income has. Right?
Okay.
And it's not a bad one. Everyone strives for something, strives to be successful. Part of the success maybe is the six-figure income, and it's achievable. Depends on how do you approach your target.
Okay. Let's then break the myth down and see, is it achievable only by owning a business, or is it also achievable by career growth?
Yeah, I think that's a very easy myth to be broken. Based on my experience, you can do it from both paths, right? You can do it by, yes, starting your own business, but also working to grow within your career. You can achieve with a strong, structured plan that six-figure income. And this doesn't matter. Well, it matters a bit. Sorry, let me back up. It matters a bit the job or the vertical in which your job is, right? But that doesn't mean that you're stuck there, right? Everyone who's doing in different jobs, in white collar jobs or blue collar jobs, especially the ones in blue collar jobs, sometimes believe that, oh, if I don't have an engineer diploma, or I'm not a software developer, or I'm not a manager, I cannot achieve that six-figure income. And that's not true, right? Most of the people, the only thing that stops them to do that is themselves,
Yeah.
and lack of a planning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The second that you start to believe in it, focus on putting in written a plan, you can achieve it. It's not overnight, right? It's nothing, it's overnight.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But you can achieve it. And you'll see that right now, overall, across the globe, there is a percentage of people who have already achieved. It's not a lot. It's, I would say, 14+%. And that is from, if you look at the global structure right now, you have a split between entrepreneurs and or business owners and employees, and that's somewhere around 17% are entrepreneurs or business owners, and 83% are employees. Now, if you look at those employees, out of that, 14 to 15% have achieved already a six-figure income. So that's in amount of millions of people has achieved, right? So it's doable. You've done it, right? It's all about how can you do it, right? What do you need to do it?
Yeah.
If others done it, you can do it too.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. So if you write it on a paper, already the first step is set, right?
Yeah.
It's making the decision that I want to go that path, and I write it down, and I write a plan down, okay?
Yeah, if you don't have a plan to get to the six-figure income, and you do not, create that consistency to apply, or the consistency to be applied against that plan, you're never going to get there. And 80% of the people who start putting a plan down on writing, and then somewhere along the way, after a month, 2 months, 3 months, they don't see the results and they back down. They just go to the default. But for those who are consistent for a longer period of time, because this is a year's type of engagement, they will see the results. Right? You just have to be patient, create consistency, and execute the plan.
Yeah, perfect said. Yeah. So I think the first step is to make a decision, right? So this would be the first step for someone that wants to start and says, "Oh, I'm not really fond of what I'm getting now, if it's in a business or in a career." The first step is, okay, asking your question, do I want to earn more, right? And
Correct.
then making the decision. Okay, so
And do you know, sorry to interrupt, like,
yeah,
do you know how many people, like, if you look now at the global scale, and Google has this trends analysis, right? And interesting enough, in 2024, there were a lot of people already talking about this type of decision, do I need to have do I need to be an entrepreneur and have my own business to achieve six-figure income, or do I grow in my career? And guess what's the percentage there?
not really sure.
Alright, so it's 25% of the Google of the searches on Google is around career growth. Only 25%.
Only 25%.
All the rest,
I
it's
try to be-
around how to be successful by being your own boss to create your own company.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, right?
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and the crazy part about it is, it's not coming from Europe. It's not coming from US. It's coming from India, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Thailand.
Okay.
Right? So those are the most predominant countries right now that are asking themselves, how can I achieve a six-figure income?
I didn't expect that. So I thought
Right.
maybe Europe, Germany, USA, Canada, or
Now the question is it because already within Europe or within the US, Canada, right? More people have achieved that six-figure income, and less are asking that, or it's just that the thrive is now focused in those regions, right?
those regions, yeah.
Yeah, and I do believe is the latter. Is the thrive that is focusing right now in India, Hong Kong, Thailand. They want to really succeed, and you'll see how the potential, the talent, is rising from those regions.
For those regions, yeah. Okay, perfect. So if the myth is not correct, then maybe we should break it down. Yeah. Do you need to be a business owner, or is it achievable then by career growth? What's your opinion?
Both, right?
Yeah.
The problem is there are different threads, or different. Let me put it like this: there are different sacrifices that you have to do if you choose to go on building your own business versus growing in your career. And you have to, before you decide, like, look, what should I do? Should I build my own company? Should I grow in my career? You have to look around a bit and see where you are in your life. Right?
Correct,
It depends a lot, because here's some facts. If you want to start a business, in the first 3 to 5 years, there is a high investment of time with high risk, meaning the business might not go, or not lift up, and you have to like start again and start again. And it might be that you're not going to get to that six-figure income. There is, and again, looking at the
Probability is very high, yeah, that you don't
probability is
succeed.
very high, exactly. So if the fact is that you have to trade time, higher amount of time for building your own business, versus if you're within your career, you want to grow, you can balance a bit the work-life investment on time, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, when you look at, hey, where am I in my life? do I have more time to spare, or do I have maybe a family and I want to carve some time for my family,
Yeah.
but also I want
Balance
to
it.
balance it
Yeah.
exactly. And then how much am do I have a high sensitivity on risk taking or not? If I don't, if I like to, I'm a risk taker, right? And I have time on my on my lap, right? And I'm maybe, to be honest, the age is not super important, right? Like you'll see all the big entrepreneurs that you see now in public figures, Elon Musk, and others. They've started, or Jeff Bezos, they started in their
Early years.
40s, 30s, 40s, to grow their business. So if you have the time, if you have you're a risk taker, it might be that building your own business is suited for you, depending also on your skills, on the business idea that you want to try, right?
Yeah.
But then on the career growth, if you are more a balanced person and you have already some duties to take care of, like family or parents, etc., and you want to get to that six-figure income, as I said, it's a financial stability, psychology benchmark, etc., etc. You can achieve that. It's just going to take longer, right? It's not going to be like 3 to 5 years, high risk, high time consumption. Is going to be maybe 5 to 8 years time spent, and then it's going to be, but it's going to be balanced, right? It's going to be balanced from a perspective of time that you have invested, the time for you to acquire some skills that you might not have,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
And then you're going to see the growth, but it's going to take a while. And again, these are just high numbers. All these numbers that we're saying here today, like from building your own business or going to a career path, are somehow based on geographics, based on industry that you are in, based on opportunity. Sometimes even I would call it luck, or law of attraction. Who surround yourself, depending on the people that you surround yourselves, etc. But still, you can achieve that six-figure income on both paths. You just need to realize the facts and the efforts that you need to put in both of those paths, and which ones fit the best to your need, right? Or to your current situation.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Okay, so now that you shared some interesting knowledge with us, can you maybe share from where your experience is coming?
Yeah, because what I've learned over the years, and this is something that I'm very keen on. I don't like to give advice from books, even if we read, and I read a lot of books, right? A decent amount of books. I believe that the best way is to share experience, right? And to do that, you have to acquire that experience. And I've started, almost 20 plus years ago, and I started from ground zero, I would call it.
I would never say that.
Yeah, maybe minus one level. But I've started as when I was in university, first year, second year of university. I started in construction. Right, that was my first job, and you can imagine that.
So really, really low on the ladder.
Yeah, really low on the ladder. Yeah, exactly. That was a tough time of my experience in my career, because I wanted to do more, be better, but I needed money like any student, and that was the first job. And I one story that I want to tell you about that. it was in October when I started the construction job. We were building roofs on top of the buildings.
Okay.
Right? So you can imagine that winter came very fast, and it was snowing. It was wet, cold, on top of the building at the eighth floor, with the wood and with the materials to hold on, not to fall down, and it was an intense period of my life. But I've pushed forward, right? I every day went to school, went work afterwards, tried to push forward, and after almost 8-9 months, I started to, of course, in parallel, I was always looking to get a better job, right? I set myself a target. I said, I want to work in IT. Why?
Okay.
Because my background was in IT, right? I was doing university in that manner, so I wanted to work in IT. And I got, after almost 8-9 months, maybe a year of searching, working parallel, I've got my job in IT. But when I say a job in IT, was not really...
Everyone is thinking you're at
Yeah.
the desk and just typing.
Exactly,
Right?
already a programmer or an IT consultant or a software developer or whatever. No, I was a junior salesperson. The company was in IT,
Yeah.
but I was a junior salesperson. And the thing was that it was not easier from a fact that the same amount of hours went in, even a bit more, to be honest. By that time I was like in third year of university, so I had a bit more time on my hands, let's call it like that. But it was more intense from a perspective of I had to build new skills. I didn't know how to sell. Right? I knew how to build, maybe like carry wood, things like that. I knew what makes a computer work, right? But I didn't know how to sell. So acquiring new knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And then it was, a lot of effort put in. And when I say a lot of effort, I'll tell you the second story. Every 3 months, let's say plus minus, the owner of the company at that time was taking me to a shoe shop to buy me a new pair of shoes. And you would wonder why. Is because at that time I didn't have a car or to go to all these customers. I had to either take public transportation or walk.
No way.
Yeah, it was summer, winter, doesn't matter, right? All by food, public transportation.
Yeah, that's tough.
And that, like literally I was having holes in my shoe, and from time to time I was putting 2 pieces of paper in so that I can walk properly. It was again a different type of effort, right?
And mindset.
And
right?
mindset.
Yeah.
Right. You have to have that mindset, and I had a plan from that. Early on, I had a plan. I wanted something, and then I was consistent, and I've pushed forward. And it took me 3 years to get into a position of an IT manager, right?
Okay.
And having a car and starting to see the growth in my career. Right? That's where I started. Now, fast forward many years. Now I'm running a global organization of digital transformation, and I'm working with leaders across the world to grow their technology and their adoption of technology. And I had opportunities to meet amazing people across the world that have sometimes similar stories. And it's interesting enough because for those who are not there yet, that 6-figure income, when they sometimes, and I told you, 80% of them drop from a few months onwards. And why? Because they don't look at the plan, at the steps, and they don't enjoy the journey. They look at the outcome of what 6-figure income might bring them. They look on the street and they see fancy cars. They look at the shoes and the clothes and expensive maybe vacations. Right? That's a potential that you might have if you earn six-figure income.
Yeah.
They only look at that, you know, achievements or those perks to have a six-figure income, and they don't really want to put the effort. They only want those, right? For those who really want to put the effort and they look at each step of the plan and they invest the time, they are consistent, right? You will see them growing and you will see that they will achieve six-figure income. They will afford all those perks, but they're still very humble in a sense, and they are willing to really support one each other because they know what that journey looked like and how tough it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to share experience versus give advice. Advice, anyone can give advice. A poor guy, a rich guy, anyone can give an advice. It's all about sharing an experience that can fit or can support others and can give a foundation and a drive for others to really achieve that six-figure income. Whatever is the path, either building a business, and I was there, right? I somewhere along that path of growth, I had my own business. I sold my business. I went into a career growth, into the corporate ladder, right? So I've been in both sides of the fence, and I can share experience from both sides, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, in from what I've seen, so many people are pushed on the way to building a business, and not many of them have the right knowledge, do know where to start, and so on and so forth. And as you said, I think a very low percentage of them know that six-figure income, to achieve it, is doable by career growth.
Yeah.
And the path is more steady. You already have a start, right? Because as you said, you started in construction, so you already have some maybe characteristics that are good for you, or good for the job, or you are, let's say, a very hardworking person. Even you don't have the skills, you are hardworking. It's a start, right? And career growth is a good way to try to achieve that six figures, right?
And everyone is thinking about it. They want it. I was looking over the Google Trends in 2024. 70% of the queries around career was regarding how to grow, like how to make a step further. So that's great, right? People want it. It's all about how to get it. And I do believe that by sharing experience versus there is no let's make this very simple. There is no golden formula that gets you to a six-figure income. There's no one formula fits all or a golden ticket that you'll see on a lot of
Everyone searches for
it,
yeah.
and you'll see the YouTube and others stream of media talking about, if you do drop shipping, if you do this, if you do cryptocurrency, overnight you're going to get to a six-figure income.
Yeah, it maybe works for 1% of
Less
who
than
tries.
1%.
Yeah.
Less than 1%. And again, this is data that anyone can find on the internet right now with Google Trends or with ChatGPT or with other AI models out there. This is already, the data is there. You can really understand it, educate yourself, and really realize that to get to a six-figure income, there is a journey that you have to achieve. It might be that in 2025 and beyond, that journey again comes down from a length perspective because of the access to data, of the dynamics of the economics and the landscape, right? It might be that time is not 7, 8, 9 years on career path or 3 to 5 years on a business. Maybe it's shorter, but there still is a path there still is an amount of time that you have to invest, and that's not overnight.
Yeah, of course. And so many people are doing the mistake because they think, oh, building is a business takes the same amount time as going to a normal job, right? So they think, oh, okay, I will start working for myself from 8 to 5, and in 2 years I'm a business owner and I make over 6 figures, right? So
Yeah, that's of
that's
course that's not really the case, and the reality is going to hit them very
very hard. Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
And especially, I like that you said like I'm going to be my own boss. Like when I was
Everyone thinks like
right,
this, right? So everyone says, "Oh, I want to get in because I will be my own boss and I can make all of the decisions,
Yeah,
and it's
no,
really easy."
it's especially for many years until your business can run on its own without you. Your bosses, you'll have multiple bosses, and those are
Yeah,
your clients,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Those are going to control how much you need to work, how hard you need to work, and if your work is worth it to really achieve beyond six-figure incomes, right?
yeah,
And by the way, again, coming back, only from the 17% of the business owners, only 6% have achieved six-figure income.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, a cool stat that I have seen today, just looking on some stats, is almost 80% are trying to build a business instead of growing in a career because they think that 6 figure income is only doable by
That's again
having a
coming back to the
business.
myth
Yeah,
is not real. I would like us to try to educate people to take the right decision, and if they are at that picking point or point of decision in their life,
yeah,
to really guide them on what they should do or know before they take that decision, and if they go also on the path of career growth, we can even go in a bit more depth
yeah.
in how they can achieve that, what plans, how to structure a plan, what goals you should put to yourself, and what's the first stepping stone to that growth.
Yeah, I think that would be best because I think the career growth path is the most stable one, and it's also not risky, in my opinion, as building a business, and it's so much doable for, let's say, 80% of the people that are trying to hit 6 figure income,
Yeah,
right?
80 maybe it's a bit harsh, but like, at least half of them, if they have the right tools, the right mindset, they will succeed, right?
Yeah, I meant from the part of starting
Oh yeah,
because everyone has a stable job, right? And let's say 80% of 100% of people are trying. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe from this 80%, 50% of them will hit
yeah,
the 6 figure income or maybe less, but the rest of 30 or 40% will still have more that as they started.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So it's a
Definitely.
win-win,
It's a
right?
win-win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's a
it's more
win-win.
stable, in my opinion.
Correct. And there are very little or not that many people that talk about how can you grow in your career, right? You've grown in your career, right?
Yeah.
You had your own journey,
Luckily.
right? You
Yeah.
had your own journey, and maybe that's worth talking, because again, you also speak from experience, right? But was again not easy but doable. And you, even coming back to one of the statements that I had at the beginning, you don't need to be in a career domain or vertical that and grow there, right? Let's say you're in pharmaceutical, or you're in or in retail, right? and that doesn't allow you to grow, or maybe the company that you're in doesn't offer you possibilities to grow, that doesn't stop you for growing. That was your case, right?
Yeah, I know from experience. So I tried like how many 7 different normal jobs. So
Yeah.
I know it's doable. Yeah, yeah. I think this is a good path, and we should discuss it more. Yeah, because I think we can give people value who want to start this journey.
Good.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time, and let's see what the next episode brings. Right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Here, at 2.5 Perspectives, where we debate different topics. For each topic, we bring experience and facts to determine the best takeaway, encouraging critical thinking. I'm Ciprian, your host.
And Mihai, your co-host. Follow and subscribe.